Welcome back, everyone. Tammie Colon is with us today from Mental Health Recovery Services. She's sporting the green. I forgot, I'll be honest with you. So I'm not wearing the green today, but there is a reason that you're donning the green, right?
That's correct. So May is Mental Health Month, and we've kicked off a campaign called Be Seen with Green. It's a community effort to try to bring awareness to mental illness and also to send the message either by wearing green or tying a green ribbon around your house or putting a green bulb out to say to other people, your mental health is really important to me.
Yeah, I love that idea. And, you know, when I was coming into work, I saw 2 or 3 porch lights that were green. And I thought, that's got to be what that's for. You know? That's
exactly.
cool.
Mine are out.
So. Are they? Yeah. Okay, excellent. Maybe yours the one I saw. Okay, well, let's talk a little bit about, you guys have adjusted very well to programs geared toward people dealing with the pandemic and stress from that and world events and those kind of things, and you're always trying to, you know, keep up with that. Is that an ongoing issue? It just feels like the world is so tense right now.
Yeah, you know, while I think you'll talk to most people and they'll say they're not living under the intense fear of COVID anymore, they're starting to really coexist with it. Yeah. But they're starting to grieve what they now recognize they missed. Yeah. Yeah. Grieving relationships that became strained during that time. We have young people who are really angry that they missed out on milestones in their childhood, and they're just starting to be able to recognize that, knowing they can't get it back. And that's a struggle to deal with. Yeah,
it takes a while to do that. As you said, you're trying to deal with these kind of things, and it increases anxiety, and it's also, that's the immediate thing I think of is anxiety and anger, but you talked about depression too. It can add to those problems as well.
Absolutely. We, unfortunately, are seeing more people presenting to emergency departments across the nation. Significant increase in incidents that are mental health or substance use related, which equals to about 1 in 8 emergency room department visits are a result of mental health and substance use. So people are really struggling. They're getting to low points. They don't know how to come out of it. They don't have the skills, and they've lost a lot of support systems and isolated in the process of the last couple years.
You've talked about it before, weekly and monthly meetings, whether it's dealing with alcoholism or depression, that were canceled, and people just think, oh, well, 2 years later you can pick those right back up, and that's a tough thing to do if you make it through. You know?
Yeah, you know, the gas tank just kept getting less full and less full and less full, so having the energy, the motivation, the internal drive to go and seek out those supports is very difficult.
You talked about people getting to that point where they're going to the ER. I've got to get help somewhere, meaning that they're not necessarily getting it early on the way they should, but is it because there's still a stigma? You talked about getting the word out about mental health, and they're thinking, if I go do that, then people are going to think something's wrong with me, you know?
The stigma is definitely still present. While mental health is more of a conversation across tables in our community than it ever has been, we still know that stigma is out there. We also know, though, that 80% of the people that have killed themselves have committed suicide. We know that 50% of those people were showing symptoms before they were even of the age 14, and 75% before the age of 24, and never sought the treatment and the interventions that they needed that could have been life-sustaining for them. Yeah, and one of the programs you guys have talked about too is addressing that. If you're family, loved one, friend, and you see that, because we've always been taught that, like, I'm going to stay back. I don't want to mention that word suicide because that might provoke them to do it. But it's the opposite, right? Yeah, there's no evidence to support that. You know, the evidence is actually say address it head on, let them know you care, let them know what you're seeing that's causing you concern, evaluate whether or not they're safe to be left alone or whether you need to assist them in getting intervention. And one of the best ways to do that, there are so many screenings on the internet, right? Sure. All over the place, including our own website. And so we just encourage people, if you're concerned about what you're seeing or what you're feeling, at least go on and help yourself and take a screen. And that can tell you whether or not, yes, you need to go seek further support or not.
Help is available. All right, thank you, Tammie. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
Delaware Medical News coming up next on Noon Edition.